Good evening. I'm Jack Barry. Tonight here on 21, Herbert Stempel, our 29-year-old GI college student, can win $111,500, the highest amount of money ever to be won on television. But to do this, he's risking much of the money he has won thus far. So right now, let's meet our first two players as Geritol, America's #1 tonic, presents 21.
From New York City, Mr. Charles Van Doren, and returning with $69,500 from Forest Hills, New York, Mr. Herbert Stempel.
This is Jeopardy!
If there is one format of television that has sparked more controversy than any other, it is the quiz show. Since the concept's debut in the early 1940s, audiences have been exposed to an array of shows consisting of academic contests, all on the spot, with the incentive of winning a prize.
Currency trader from Chicago, Illinois, Alex Jacobs.
Well, as you can tell by the amount of money that our champion Alex has won, he had a very good week last week. But what's going to happen this week? It starts today with Monica and Todd as the challengers.
Often at a low cost to produce, quiz shows have attracted millions of viewers, and oftentimes per show. They are a big appeal often because they display seemingly ordinary people winning in often unthinkable situations. Not without controversy, however. There is much suspicion over whether or not most of these shows are fixed prior to airing.
Keep talking. Maybe the right thing will pop out. Good luck.
New baby buggy. New baby. New.
That
Oh!
Put your hands against the wall. Put your hands.
Before we go on, I would like to say that all the questions that are used on 21 have been authenticated for their accuracy and the order of their difficulty by the editorial board of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
The show 21 featured Charles Van Doren and Herb Stempel. Van Doren was an English professor at Columbia University. Stempel was enlisted in the Army before leaving to attend college. He was intrigued by quiz shows and wanted to take part in one. At the time, the prize seemed to be very generous at $20,000 for the winner.
Win back $20,000 from Herb Stempel, but he doesn't know it because they don't know each other's scores. Let's see what happens. If either of you want to stop the game, you must tell me so right now.
I'll stop.
Then you win.
Producer of the show, Dan Enright, had given Herb Stempel inside coaching before the show took place. Charles Van Doren later spoke about how he was persuaded to accept certain answers while he was on the show. Stempel ended up losing on the show, and he had to hold back answers he knew in order to play along with the system.
Tremendous run here, Herb. You had $69,500 when you started. You lost $29,000. You're still going home with $49,500, which is a big sum. Herb, in the few brief moments we have, what are you going to do with the dough?
Well, Mr. Barry, this all came so suddenly. First thing I want to do is outfit my family.
In 1960, the United States Congress amended the Communications Act of 1934. The Communications Act of 1934 ended the fixing of game shows. This ultimately led to most game shows being canceled and replaced with public service programs. Quiz shows now set limits on the winnings a contestant could take home. It wasn't until 1999 where the $1 million prize became a reality.
Herb, I want to say one thing. We may have a lot of contestants in the future, but I doubt that anybody will ever display the knowledge, the fighting spirit, and the courage that you have in this program.
The television game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is a perfect example of this. Let's take a look.
Believe it. Let's go for the million. Which of these U.S. presidents appeared on the television series Laugh-In? Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford.
Because the U.S. president appeared on Laugh-In is Richard Nixon. That's my final answer.
Well, my gosh. What can I say except, Debbie, you're going to Paris, and this is the final answer heard all around the world. He's won $1 million.
Despite the exposure of 21, quiz shows found their way back to television. In the decades after the scandal, shows such as The Price is Right and Deal or No Deal emerged, gaining immediate popularity. Like in the early days of quiz shows, modern audiences would watch for the emotion and thrill that these shows provided.
Christian Gurley, come on down. And now, here's your host, Drew Carey.
One of everyone's favorite game shows to this day is The Price is Right. The Price is Right has contestants who have to guess the price of different items. Contestants can either win prizes or cash while taking part in the show. In 2013, TV Guide ranked The Price is Right as number 5 on their list of the top 60 greatest game shows of all time.
You know the million's in there and you can't lose. You're going to be the first $1 million winner on Deal or No Deal.
Another popular American game show was Deal or No Deal. Deal or No Deal was hosted by Howie Mandel and it aired on NBC from 2005 to 2009, twice a week. The contestant is told to pick one case at the beginning of the show, hoping that it contains a $1 million prize inside. The goal of the show is for you to go home with as much money as possible. Each round you are told to open a certain number of cases. After you open all of your cases, the banker calls down to try and offer you a deal, where you can either hit the button and accept, or say no deal and keep playing. The banker wants you out as soon as possible. It is up for you to have the will to keep playing and go home a winner, and hopefully that you make that $1 million case yours.
Jessica Robinson, one is worth $200,000, and one case is worth $1 million. You've gone all the way. You have turned down every offer. You're going home with what's in your case. Your case is worth
With growing popularity in the United States, the quiz show has gained much international notoriety, being used in countries such as Japan, Colombia, and Spain. With other countries experimenting with the format, shows have come down to more than just sitting down and answering questions to win money. In many shows, such as this Japanese game show displayed, there are actual consequences for answering a question incorrectly, besides losing all the earnings.